Alright, so today we're back out here at Evergreen Cemetery, and this is the entrance right here. That's my bike, but this is the entrance. And if you look behind me, it goes all the way down through there. Just met a nice gentleman who was talking about the cemetery off. There's another cemetery off right here. There we go. There's another cemetery off on this tree lines back here. It's another cemetery. It's not Evergreen, but this is Evergreen. And today we're hunting for the only Maconite that was killed in the great airplane crash of 1928. The story goes, they were having a festival, airplane festival. People from all over the United States were coming in. Aviation, people would bring their planes, and they were going to have like a barrel rolls and skydives and, you know, loop-de-loops with airplanes. And one of the persons sponsoring this was had a brother. I'm in the shade. Had a brother. His brother was aviation, and so to drum up business, he thought the best thing he could do is hop an airplane, take off 3 days before the festival, and to drum up attention, you know, decide him and his co-pilot was going to go and drop aerial industrial firecrackers, I guess you call it, but bombs, and make noise. And what it would do is get people to look up, because in 1928 it wasn't like a big thing to see airplanes. A lot of people haven't seen them, so they dropping bombs out, and they were going off. They didn't hit the ground, they blow up in the air. And the first pass, they took off at Baldwin County Airport, and now it's Baldwin County Golf Course. Back then it was airport. And they got to Macon, they threw out the first bomb, it went off. People started coming out, the businesses, and looking, and you know, see what was going on. And they do a barrel roll and a dive, and they will fly back, throw out another bomb, boom, made more noise, and more people came out, and they was drumming up, you know, business for people to come see this show. And so we're here to see not the two pilots, because like I said, they come in from all over the United States, and I think the pilot, Mr. Steele, is buried in Indiana, just south of you know, and his co-pilot, Mr. Ashcraft, is buried in Kansas, I believe. 3 people died. The only Maconite to die was Mr. Murphy, Clyde Murphy. I think his name, Claude. And so we're here to see him. Walking up to Mr. Murphy's grave, Claude Murphy, who died in the great airplane crash in Macon, Georgia on Cherry Street. Buck Steele, the pilot, and Lucky Ashcraft, the co-pilot, were doing loops, throwing out aerial bombs, drawing up attention. And Clyde here owned an iron workshop off of Poplar Street, and decided to come out to hear about these air bombs going off. The bombs didn't hit the ground, they blew up in the air, making noise, and they were supposed to drum up attention. And that's what it did. It drove everybody out of businesses and workshops, and Mr. Clyde here walked from Poplar Street down to Cherry Street to get a better view. And when he rounded the corner of Cherry Street, the pilot, Buck Steele and Mr. Lucky Ashcraft, he wasn't lucky, but Mr. Ashcraft, I don't know who was throwing out the bombs, but he threw out the third one, blew back into the cockpit, exploded. The plane went into a barrel dive and crashed on Cherry Street, striking Mr. Clyde here and killing him. It didn't kill him instantly. It took his arm off and his foot. They rushed him to the emergency room where he later passed away. After cleaning up the wreckage, they did find his arm up underneath the plane. Now, one thing about the wreckage is everybody was already out there on the street, and with the propeller and the plane buried into the road, the sidewalks were pretty much up underneath them were like storage. And so all that weight, fire, and everything going on, all them people, now the sidewalk collapsed, hurting another 38 people, I think it was, that had to be going to the hospital. Nobody else died, but sidewalks collapsed, everybody fell in, so it made the cleanup even worse. More people got hurt. But this is back in February 18th, 1928. Now, Mr. Steele, both Lucky and Ashcraft and Mr. Steele were coming down from Syracuse, New York, where they lived. Their bodies were returned back to, Mr. Steele went back to right below Indianapolis, Indiana, a little bitty town there, while Mr. Ashcraft went back to Nebraska, a little bitty town just north of the Oklahoma state line. But here's Mr. Claude Murphy, who was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Plane hit him, killed him, and there he is. But if you ever go downtown Macon, right there on Cherry Street, there's a plaque in front of the Parish with brass propellers on the ground. And that's the plane, that's the spot where the plane actually struck the ground and crashed. And that's where Mr. Murphy here passed away. So if you ever go downtown, look, that's where this man passed away. Alright, so if you come down here to Cherry Street and Popular, I don't know if you see it because of the sign, to Cherry Street and Popular, we're on Cherry Street, and you walk down to the Parish. Ain't nobody out here. I like doing videos when there ain't nobody around. But you walk down to the Parish, and you get right in front of the Parish. And it's right here. As you can see the date right there. And this is the actual spot somebody's doing something down there. I don't know what they're doing, but this is the actual spot where the plane crashed, and that's the monument right there, where Charlie Murphy, Lucky, Ashcraft, and Mr. Steele died. Now, Charlie Murphy was the Maconite, of course, and he was rushed to the hospital where he later passed away. This sidewalk caved in, and there was, I don't know if it still is, but there was storage up underneath the sidewalk. But yeah, beautiful Macon, Georgia. In the Parish. And that's the marker.